Hey there, Ethan Lay here, and today we're going to be talking about String Railways by Hizashi Hiyashi. I think that's the pronunciation. String Railway is a game for 2 to 5 players in which you are using lengths of yarn, basically, as railroad tracks and connecting stations on a board, on the table, in a predetermined area. It's a very visually appealing game. When you're done, it's very pretty to see the string out on the table. Players are going to be given 5 lengths of string. Game is played over 5 rounds. It's more rounds with fewer players, fewer rounds with more players, it's something like that. Each round, you're going to be putting one string down, and you're going to be trying to connect as many stations as you can. You're going to draw a card, put it on the table, and then you're going to be using your string to connect stations in your existing network, so you can't have unrelated lengths of rail. It's a very quick playing game. You're going to find that maybe half an hour, if people really think about what they're doing. It's dirt simple. There are more complicated games that sort of go down this line, but this one's very simple. The stations all tell you exactly how they score. Some of them can have multiple tracks leaving them, some can't. There's some amount of blocking because you can try to force players to go over your track, and if they go over your track, they're giving you points. There's really not much to it. I mean, I've almost described the entire game to you. There is, let's see, I've obviously gushed a bit about it, but criticisms. Because the game is played with yarn, there is some iffiness about the actual ability to place it and have it stay in place. I mean, it's not floating around. Well, do not play this outside. But when you put the yarn down, if it can touch the card stock of a station, it's connected to it. Well, so there's a lot of time wasted in the game of players sort of fiddling around with the string, trying to bend it and push it and prod it and have it stay in place to have it contort and sort of wiggle around how you want it to. There's another game that I'll do a review for later, Paperclip Railways. That's a little more complicated, uses paper clips instead of strings, and that doesn't have the same issue. So there's a lot of sort of iffiness, and if you were playing with somebody who's going to take this very seriously, String Railways is probably not the game to play with them, because oftentimes you just have to say to somebody, you know what, yeah, it touches it enough, because it might just be that you can't have the string physically stay in place enough to show that it's connecting to that station. I also was a little disappointed. When I had read about this and watched other videos about this game, I was imagining, a lot of choice on your turn, because you have all these lengths of yarn and you're going to decide which one you want to use now and how best to use it. And it's been a little bit since I played it, but I believe it's 4 of the lengths of yarn are the exact same length, and then 1 is longer. It might even be like twice as long. So you have 1 long and everything else is the same length. And while there is some thought and effort that goes into, well, when do I play the long one? Hint, it's usually near the end of the game when you can hit a bunch of stations. The fact that you only have that one choice in the game in terms of the string you use, I don't know. If I ever felt like actually putting effort in, I'd go to the craft store, get some spools of yarn, and cut a bunch of lengths of yarn out and use that. And I think that'd be neat if everybody had, the players all had the same 5 different lengths, or if different players had different lengths and you had some differences amongst the players, some asymmetrical nature amongst the players and their interaction on the board. One railway might have a lot of long ones, one might have a lot of short ones, and you could you'd have to work to balance it. I'm not here to do a design course or change on the game, but I don't know. I was a little disappointed to find out that there was only 2 different lengths of yarn in the game. There is drawing cards, which are the stations, and so obviously there's a lot of input randomness there, because you have this, you can just get sort of hosed by the luck of the draw. You can pull a lot of stations that are low points. Now, it doesn't necessarily hose you too bad, because you then, as long as you are leaving from a station that you have rail connected to, you don't need to connect to the station card you just put down. But the people who draw those really lucrative station cards obviously are getting first dibs as to where they go, first dibs getting into them, and that can sway the game in their favor. It is a light filler game, so these criticisms shouldn't be taken as any kind of negative on the game. I really enjoy it. It's a fun filler. I love train games, and this, well, not a train game by the definition of, 18XX. Oh man, I can't believe I managed that. 18XX or its likes. Well, not to that level of train game. It's still a really fun filler. People like it. People like the thought of playing with the string. And it plays very fast. Again, like I said, half an hour. So if you like the thought of train games like this, I would recommend String Railways. I'm always a little disappointed when it's a train game without pick up and deliver. And again, somebody could probably come up with a variant to make something like that work. But String Railway by Hizashi Hiyashi, overall, a fun little filler of a game. Not to run out and buy it. You don't need it. But if it ever happens to come into your, possession or you get the opportunity, I'd recommend you give it a try. That's all I really have to say about it. Alright, so this has been Ethan Millay with another No Rules review. If you like what you saw today, share, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.